Bill was the first of 7 children born to Arthur and Molly Weasley. He was a child during the time of the First Weasley War, in which his uncle Fabian and Gideon Prewitt were murdered fighting the Death Eaters. Bill was tall, thin, handsome, and had red hair like the rest of the Weasley family. Bill and his 5 brothers, Charlie, Percy, Fred, George, and Ron, as well as his younger sister Ginny, grew up in the Barrow in Devon, England. Bill was home educated by his mother Molly in reading, writing, and simple math. The Weasley family was not as wealthy as some other Weasley families. Many other pureblood families, particularly the Malfoys, disdained him for their blood treacher. They tried their best to make up for this with their love. It can be assumed that Bill had a fairly happy childhood, as all the Weasley siblings did. Bill attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft in Weasley on 1st September 1982. He was sorted into Gryffindor House like the rest of his siblings later. Bill quickly proved himself as a strong and popular student. Apparently, his best subject was defense against the dark arts. Bill showed a natural flair for defense against the dark arts. He would often be found at the school training grounds, practicing defensive and offensive spells on mechanical Death Eaters. In the 1984-1985 school year, Bill took the following as electives: Magus Studies, Divination, Arithmancy, Study of Ancient Runes, and Care of Magical Creatures. It can be assumed that he achieved it through the use of a time turner, as some of the classes are in attendance at the same time. Bill had become very popular among the other students and was regarded by many as one of the bravest and most gifted students of his year. In the 1986-1987 school year, Bill became a prefect. He had a crush on a girl named Emily Tyler and looked for advice on romance from one of his friends. Bill obtained 12 OWLs in his 7th year and was made head boy. At some point, he had a friend at the Weasley school in Brazil. When his friend wanted him to go on an exchange trip, Bill had to decline because his parents couldn't afford it. His friend though was offended and sent him a cursed heart that made his ears shrivel up. After graduating from Hogwarts, Bill was ultimately managed to live up to dream life with joining Gringotts Weasley Bank. Having successfully found an opening for curse breakers, applied and been accepted, Bill threw himself into his work, pouring all of his energies into his curse breaking missions. He concerned about the well-being of his younger brothers Charlie, Percy, Fred, and George, who were all attending Hogwarts at the time. He eventually contacted Albus Dumbledore, asking if he might be granted permission to visit the school whenever he had downtime in between his missions, in order to offer extra evening classes on the subject in order to help students learn how to defend themselves. Dumbledore truly agreed. He even gave him free access to classroom after regular classes were done for the day. In December of same year, Bill started by Hogwarts on his way to celebrate Christmas with his family at the Barrow after an assignment for Gringotts. At some point, Bill went from being at Brighton to his various missions to being stationed permanently in Egypt in northeastern Africa. During the summer of 1993, the whole Weasley family went to Egypt on holiday after his father won 700 gallons in the annual Daily Prophet Grand Prize Gallon Draw. Bill took his family on a tour of the Egyptian tombs. In the summer of 1994, Bill returned to the Barrow to attend the Quidditch World Cup with his family. During his stay, he met his youngest brother Ron's best friend Harry Potter for the first time. When the Death Eaters decided to stir up trouble in the aftermath of the Irish victory, Bill assisted the Ministry of Magic. During the fight, he was injured with a deep cut on his arm. In 1995, Bill took more time off work to travel to Hogwarts with his mother to support Harry during the 3rd task of the Triwizard Tournament. It was during this time that he met Fleur Delacour, who was attracted to him from the start. Following the death of Cedric Diggory and the return of Lord Voldemort, Bill immediately set up to inform his father of the news and that Albus Dumbledore would be contacting him. During the Second Weasley War, Bill joined the Order of the Phoenix and applied for the desk job in England so he could help the Order more effectively. Fleur Delacour had taken a part-time job at Gringotts to improve her English. As the two began dating, he was often involved in planning sessions and was used to gauge where the goblins' loyalties lie. During Christmas of 1995, Bill visited his father at St. Mungo's Hospital for injuries several times after he had been attacked by Nagini. With the Weasley War at large aware of Lord Voldemort's return, in the wake of the Battle of the Department of Mysteries, Bill asked Fleur to marry him after they have been dating for a year. In the summer of 1996, she stayed at the Barrow for several weeks to get to know Bill's family. However, her nature rubbed Mrs. Weasley and Ginny the wrong way, and they thought Bill could do better than her. In June 1997, Bill was one of the Order members asked by Dumbledore to guard Hogwarts during his absence when he and Harry went to search for one of Lord Voldemort's Horcruxes. That night, Death Eaters broke into the school with the help of Draco Malfoy, and during the battle, Bill was badly injured by werewolf trainer Greyback. His face was slashed and ripped. Although Greyback was not transformed at the time, the injurious was dirty. Bill did not become a werewolf, but did develop a liking for a very rare Styx. Strangely, it was his injurious that finally convinced his mother that Fleur was the right choice for him. Mrs. Weasley thought their love was based on physical attraction, but Fleur showed that she loved him no matter what he looked like, and the two women made up over his hospital bed. What do I care how he looks? I'm good looking enough for both of us. I think all these scars show is that my husband is brave. A few days later, he attended Dumbledore's funeral along with his family. He was seen sitting next to Fleur during the service. In July 1997, Bill was one of the members of Order of Phoenix who assisted in transporting Harry to safety before the protective charm that kept him safe at the Dursley was broken. Part of the plan involved Fleur disguising herself as Harry.
Bill, look away. I'm hideous.
And the two left Private Drive on a test roll. During the Battle of Seven Portals, Bill saw Alastor Moody murdered personally by Lord Voldemort, and they were chased by Death Eaters, but escaped unharmed. He later volunteered to assist Remus Lupin in the search for Moody's body to give him a proper burial, but they could find no trace of it. Bill and Fleur were married on 1st August 1997. Their reception, however, was ruined by Death Eaters, who were able to break the protective spells around the battle after a successful revelation against the Ministry of Magic. And the death of Rufius Scrimgeour. The Ministry has fallen. Scrimgeour is dead. They are coming. Although they were questioned, the attendants were free to go. Bill returned to work, and he and Fleur moved to their own place, Shield Cottage. Later in that year, Bill's brother Ron came to stay with him after abandoning Harry and Hermione during their Horcrux hunt. Although disappointed in his brother for his previous actions, he could see just how sorry he was, and didn't tell the rest of the Weasley that Ron was at the cottage. After Harry, Ron, and Hermione escaped from Malfoy Manor with several other prisoners, they took refuge at Shield Cottage. Bill took them in and allowed Harry to bury the remains of Dobby in his garden. Realizing that the enemy was aware that the Weasleys were supporting Harry openly, Bill and his father took the family into hiding using the Fidelius charm. As a result, Bill had to give up work, and he became the sacred keeper of Shield Cottage. Shortly after Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Grey Folk left, he was alerted to Neville Longbottom call to arms at Hogwarts. The Luna and Dean were staying with him. Bill was one of the Weasleys' members that didn't want Ginny to fight due to her age. Bill fought in the Battle of Hogwarts and survived, but the victory was destroyed by the death of his brother Fred. It was so heartbreaking to Bill, as well as to all his siblings. His body was later moved to the Great Hall, where family and friends then mourned over him. Following the war, Bill and Fleur had 3 children, Victoire, Dominic, and Louise Weasley. Victoire was born on the anniversary of the Battle of Hogwarts, thus her name, which means victory in French. As of 2030, Bill was still employed as a curse breaker for Gringotts and had returned to his work in Egypt. In 2014, Bill attended the Quidditch World Cup final along with the rest of his family. Bill spent his 45th birthday with his wife and the rest of his family.